Okay, this is the model and diorama, vignette, whatever you want to call it, at this stage. This is the live resin kit, 1/35th scale, and the kit is pretty good. All the parts were really nicely cast, went together well. It was something I saw on an advertisement and it was off the wall, way different. So I said, what the heck, I needed to do something different, but it sat on my shelf here for a while, but I'm gonna finish it up now. Once again, the base is a plastic cube, spray painted black along with everything you've seen here. And of course, up to this point, I just put some styrofoam on top of the base. I wanted it to look like it was going up a dune or a hill. And then Magic Sculpt is the groundwork. It's just applied over the styrofoam, and I've given it a texture with a toothbrush. And then once that's dried, I've actually added sand and gravel on it, and these Dio Park cactus are put into place, and this moss up into this point. I've got it painted. As I said, I sprayed everything black, and then I painted the Polaris ATV a sand color, desert sand color. I'll put that up, which color I use. I think it's just Tamiya Armor Sand. And there's extra equipment that comes separately, and so I bought the extra spare tires, ammo kits, cases, looks like a gas can, water can there. So anyway, that is the Polaris. Now I've got it so far as where I'm ready to start doing more weathering on the Polaris. I'm going to do that now in the form of washes, and then I'll put probably maybe another wash on this groundwork, and then I'll start with pastels on the groundwork and tires and a little bit on the Polaris. But other than that, that's the stage it's at right now. So let's get going and keep working on this project. Okay, So the wash and weathering in progress. This is what I've got so far. As you can see, the cactuses are painted. I've did some detail highlighting on the ammo boxes and equipment. The seat was painted in oils, black, and then highlighted with a little bit of white mixed with the black oil paint. And then some dry pastels were just pushed into the seat there to give it that worn look. I still have to paint the straps over the equipment, a few other little details on it, and then I'm going to weather a little bit more with pastels at the end for a dry desert look. There's kind of a big story on the figure, but I won't get into it. But this is the figure I'm going to use. It's Masterbox, somewhere on their planet. There's all kinds of disclaimers there for the kids, but Masterbox sent me this set, and it looks like it's going to come in handy now. The figure is actually pretty good. I was really surprised. You know, these plastic figures, they take a long time for cleanup, and if you don't clean them up really good, you're going to see all the seam marks and things like that. So it took me probably about 30 minutes to clean him up. His rifle is not glued in, and it's not even primed yet, but I sprayed him black, and then I oversprayed him with the light blue, so he's got dark underneath and the light blue on top. So I'm going to start painting his face now and get started on him, get him done so I can complete this project. Well, I've been painting on this guy for a while, a few hours actually, and it's a lot of work. The plastic figures, once you clean them up, you lose a lot of detail, and trying to paint it back on is difficult. That's why resin figures have such an appeal. I'm really working hard to bring the detail out on this guy, and as you can see, my paints I'm going to town and I'm not even done. I still got to paint his headset, his scarf thing around his neck there, a lot of little details, the weapon, the sunglasses. So still going, a lot of work, a lot of time. Okay, the figure's finished, and I'm gonna do final weathering with pastels on the vehicle. I painted the straps, put a little bit of weathering on the boxes just with chips. The figure, wow, this was a fight. I think I fought more with this guy than with I think I fought more with this guy than my ex-wife over the years. So there was a lot to do for this guy because the detail was just very soft. So I had to do a lot with washes and picking out detail. But actually, I'm pretty happy with him. He came out good, and I'm happy with him. I'm going to use him on the Diorama Vignette. So let's finish up the weathering. And what I've done is I've ground up some pastels, and I'm going to apply them to the model now. Okay, here's the final model. The figure took me 4 hours. Like I said, it was a longer fight than I used to fight with my ex-wife. But that's a whole nother story. Anyhow, as you can see, the last part of the video, I applied the pastels, ground them up using a file into a little container, and then they're applied, just brushed on the lower part of the vehicle, all around the tires and onto the groundwork. And then the final part of that, you could see how I rubbed it in. It's all rubbed in, and I blew everything off. And look at the tires. I mean, that's how they look out in the sand, because I drive out in the sand a lot. Here in Florida, I go to the sand hills a lot. I actually have another channel I started in 2020, and that's slowed down my armor building, but I decided to do this channel after 3 years of the other one, and this one's actually doing very well, which I knew it would, but I wanted to do a channel where I actually got up and moved around and got exercise. So my other channel, I'm outdoors a lot. I'll put that in the description below. My other channel, Project Simus Florida. I study rare snakes and reptiles and amphibians in Florida. I did that when I was semi-retired, and I still volunteer now, and I have my YouTube channel. But anyhow, back to armor models. The figure came out way better than what I thought it was going to. Being a plastic figure, Master Box, not really known for their figures, but they have some really interesting sets. And if you want to spend some time with them, you can get something decent out of a lot of them. But as you can see, I weathered up the equipment a little bit, put some chipping on the boxes, I added some contrast, things like that. The cactuses, you can see, are finished now, and you saw the oil painting was used, but I also used a little bit of brown oil paint, light brown here and there, to give some life to those cactus so they're not perfectly green. But the pastels just tied everything together, as you can see. And there's pastels on the bottom of his feet, some of his legs. And I just rub it in, and it really just ties the groundwork together. It looks very sandy and dry. And you can see by the seat on the Polaris, I had painted that in artist oils, black, I had mentioned. And you can see the difference in just the way it just looks different than the rest of the model, and gives it that vinyl look. And of course, the weathering on the seat brings out the detail and makes it look way more realistic. But once again, this is a really fun little project, different than my mostly World War II stuff. Wish I had one of these vehicles, actually. It would be fun. But the Special Forces guy, I haven't painted a modern figure and I can't remember how long. He was real fun to do, actually, even though it took me 4 hours or more. I wanted to put tattoos on his arms, because in the photos it shows that, and I'm like, yeah. And I was looking for decals, and I tried to put a decal on that just had some design that was really small, and it just didn't look right. Maybe one day I'll get a little tiny brush and try a tattoo on a 35th scale figure. I'm sure some people can do it. My eyes are just not there right now. But yeah, it came out pretty cool. I'm pleased with it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And I've got some other projects going. I started painting this guy, and I've got a German vehicle coming soon, so, or I shouldn't say soon, coming up. It could be months from now, but anyhow, it's in the modeling world, I guess that's months and months is soon. So anyway, as I said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more Armor Models by Glenn Bartolotti.